Hi, GenderBlenders. Welcome to week 115. For those of you that have already begun transition, living full-time, have you encountered any difficulty in making friends with those of the gender you identify? Are there any differences you have noticed from pre-transition to now? Did you have any fears, anxieties prior to transition, etc.? For those of you pre-transition, do you have any fears, anxieties surrounding making friends? Post-transition, do you plan to be out to them, etc.? Well, this is Steffi, and it's a very wonderful question this week. I have to give you a little bit of background. I used to be very introverted, shy. It was difficult for me to meet people of either sex. I was very uncomfortable in dealing with people at all. As soon as I discovered who I was, though, all those things evaporated. Found it much easier to deal with people in general. So I'm going to answer some of these questions out of order. Difficulty in making friends. No, not really. Mostly I'm openly accepted. Early on, there were some people who were uncomfortable being around me. Like, for example, coming out at work. When I first came out at work, I transitioned, so to speak, using the women's room. For a while, I just used the unisex bathroom that we have for a restroom, and eventually people got used to me because they were uncomfortable about who I was and what I was doing. You know, it's an unusual thing, but allowing those people time to get used to me worked very nicely for that, and in general I have no problem with that. So it was actually easy for me to make new friends. For example, at work, I have many friends, female friends at work. They're not romantic girlfriends, but they're truly wonderful people that I feel comfortable with. Would feel comfortable with going on a girls' night out. And I have. I've been accepted very well with that. Just recently we had a baby shower, and I was in there with the rest of us, making the little cakes and things like that with everyone. That was fun. But that was kind of a girls' night out. But it just goes to show you that indeed I'm accepted for who I am. That was wonderful. Difference from pre-transition. Yes, it is so much easier for me now. It's easier for others now as well. I think early on, before I even came out to myself, one of the reasons, when I was introverted and shy, one of the reasons it was difficult for me to meet people was people got that hesitancy about me. Who are you really? And, when you're not positive, when you're hesitant, people wonder what's wrong with him or what's wrong with her. I don't necessarily mean it as a gender-specific kind of a thing, but, they wonder what that person is all about, because there's just something wrong there. They're not acting like they're comfortable with themselves. So as soon as you find that hesitancy, it gets translated. So consequently, it's hard for me to meet people and hard for people to meet me. Did I have any fears prior to transition? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. When I understood what I was. Sure, I had fears of making that transition. A lot. It's the fear of the unknown. But you know, those fears influence the outcome of your transition. So, if you're not fearful, or don't portray being fearful, how fearful you are inside is a different story. But if you portray to the outside world a positive attitude about your transition and about what you're doing, people will automatically assume that what you're doing is right and positive and healthy. And they'll assume, oh, well, this is fine. And they will accept you. And therefore, it will be easier to make friends of either sex. So regarding those pre and early transition, I guess I can offer maybe some advice. Remember, we're always far more afraid of the unknown. But the reality is that people accept us a lot easier than we thought. The second piece of advice, pre or early transition, come out as soon as you can. I mean, I know it's tough. I know you don't like your voices, and I know you don't pass, and I know you don't look like the woman that you think you are, or the man that you think you are. But you know what? The sooner you come out, the sooner the rest of that is going to happen. Because people are going to positively be impacted. And it's going to help your own voice. See, when I came out to myself, I had this here man's voice, and it was terrible. I can't even talk that way anymore. Sounds like I've got laryngitis. So I can't even talk as a man anymore. Not that I want to, but it just goes to show you what happens. But you know, when you're in that old-fashioned voice, or your old-fashioned whoever you are, coming out is going to make it easier for you to develop who you really are. And that's going to help you, and it's going to help those around you. So that's my advice. Do you plan to be out, dear friends? Gosh, you should be. You should plan on it. If you can. And yeah, I know it's tough. But you know, the sooner you do, the happier you're going to be. So that's my advice for this week. Until next week, this is Steffi saying, bye-bye.